Hey everyone, how's it going? Saul here, and welcome back to episode 3 of the Ironman PvM Bingo miniseries. So, before anyone, or if you haven't seen the last episodes and you want to, here's your last chance before I show the progress so far in the form of our bingo card. So, this is what we're looking at the start of this episode. And for reasons you can probably tell by the title and how I'm speaking, this is largely going to be post-commentary. Yeah, it's a bit of a painful one, but, bear with me or laugh at us in our misery of all that has happened, and yeah, we're just hoping for the better going forward. Anyways, I started off with some necks this episode. Next is great in terms of progress for me for many reasons. One, the bingo tile, of course, for per Next Chaps. It's a 1 in 384 from Next, as are all the individual pieces. There are 18 items, though, so that turns out to be a 1 in 21 and a third, rather, from Next. So that was my first drop, Virtus Mask at 25 KC. I ended up getting the defense pet as well, which it took me a minute to notice during all of this happening, so that was interesting. And then I think in the same session or shortly thereafter, I ended up getting some Torva gloves. I do have a few drops missed in here as well, but all in all, I show like a glimpse of it at the end. I ended up getting 2 Virtus boot drops, Pernix boots, Torva gloves, and Virtus robe legs. So also ended up getting the defender pieces as well, which is pretty nice considering I needed that to progress up the defender tree onto tier 90s from Calfight King. Either way, not too lucky at Nex, all things considered. I'm a bit below drop rate overall, and of course not getting lucky on chaps. I'm about halfway to the drop rate though, so not really complaining, but I know some other people have done Nex as well and haven't had much luck either. Also, as a little side thing here, I guess, I ended up getting 99 fishing because, need supplies to keep PVMing. Next has like Blood Me Drive, Blue Blubbers. I didn't have that many to start with, so it's not a huge deal, and also I've switched to using Rocktail and Sailfish at Next because I don't think I need the Blue Blubbers there anymore, but yeah. I also ended up picking up the fishing pet as well, as again, a little side thing, not directly related, but part of the general account progression that I decided to include. So yeah, I also had no idea what the skill cape did, so I ended up learning about that as well. I originally thought the skill cape just added plus 5% catch rate, kind of like the outfit adds 7%, but turns out it just provides a chance to give you a double catch. I also did a bit of barrows as well. This is mostly my strategies, running around with the Elder Rune swords dual wield, so I could bladed dive without switching too much. Barrows is a low level boss, didn't want it to be more intensive than it has to be because it kind of has to be, given that you're running around so much. So yeah, the damage from the Elder Rune swords was fine enough for me, so just decided to stick with that. And we need the Guthan's War Spear. I don't know the exact rate, but I believe the rate for any Barrows item from the chest is 1 in 16 if you're doing the 6 core brothers. Unfortunately didn't get a Guthan's War Spear, but ended up getting another melee main hand that I made the defender out of, that I mentioned earlier. And for those that don't know the way defenders work in RS3, they go up to tier 90, and you need the Dragon Defender in your inventory while doing barrows, and you'll get a defender piece. Then you combine that with a melee, mage, or ranged weapon from barrows, and that will make you the level 70 defender. Then you need to hold that level 70 defender at Nex to get another piece, which you combine with a Dungeoneering award to make the level 80 defenders. which you need to take to Calfight King to get another piece that you combine with other items to make the level 90 defenders. So had to start at Barrows, and I did end up getting I think Darok's Great Axe, which I made into the defender to get the defender pieces from Nex. But apart from that, I had a bit of an unlucky streak. Overall, my luck at Barrows is above average, but in the context of everything I've done for Bingo, it's been a bit below average. This is another one that I know a couple people have done in the team, Barrows as well, and no such luck on the War Spear. Don't know how other teams are shaping up on that. I saw at least one get it not super long ago, but yeah, it's not obscenely rare. Barrows doesn't take a long time or anything, and it's pretty accessible, but it's one of those things that, you know, most people aren't going to really need items from, so it's harder to go for the reason of progressing your account instead of specifically for Bingo, which is why I've been putting it off a bit as well. Mostly just been doing it to fill the gaps between some other things. Anyways, I do see more of this in the future, given that we still need the tile, and yeah, like I said, it's just a kind of an easy side activity. You can do a few runs of Barrows without getting super invested in it because you don't need to turn on an aura or anything. We also ended up doing 2 hours, I believe, of Team Croesus. So 4 of us from the team all went to Croesus, and yeah, still unfortunately did not get anything. We saw 0 drops the entire time, which is not super uncommon, but pretty uncommon at Croesus. I feel like if you do 2 hours for the group, there's a pretty solid chance, obviously depending on your kill speeds and such, of getting a drop. So yeah, unfortunately, didn't quite get anything. I did get some ridiculous common loot at one point. Like, I'm talking like 3 or 4 times as many soul runes as you would normally get in a given session. I had by that point, but yeah. So Croesus, there's still plenty of drops for me to get there apart from the Bingo thing, which is skilling offhands, so either the torch or the hammer. So I don't mind going to Croesus more, especially because it's not as intensive as some of the other things we have left, so I could see myself doing quite a bit more of this, and I am a bit in the future compared to when this was recorded, of course, so we have done a bit more Croesus, but for the sake of this episode, we saw literally 0 drops at Croesus, Bingo related or not, so unfortunate yet again. Continuing on with the massive mixed bag of stuff we've done in this episode, I also decided to try out Corp for the first time. I ended up making my Masterwork Spear, not Masterwork Spear, Spear of Annihilation, rather, as the tier 90, so literally just a tier 90 spear, doesn't have the effect associated with the Masterwork Spear, which is the tier 92 one. So no increased bleed duration or anything like that. The accuracy is a huge problem at Corp. I eventually started using an EOF because I think I need the souls damage reduction and the accuracy from the Berserker Necklace. So yeah, I also just stuck with Vamp, Aura, and Scrimshaw eventually, as that seemed to keep me alive the best, and the kill times weren't drastically decreased compared to using my accuracy aura. So yeah, done plenty of that. I did a few hours worth of Corp. Again, it's a pretty chill activity compared to something like Nex or Arch Glacior, which I also did a little bit of, but not going to show that in this episode since I didn't really do more than dip my toes in the water in that regard. But I ended the episode on, I believe, 173 Corp kills, starting at 0 beforehand and still no drops. I've actually only had one Corp specific drop, which was a Spirit Shield, which is a 1 in 64, so realistically I should have almost 3 by that point, and only had 1. And I know I'm sounding like a broken record here, but once again, I know other people in the team have gone to Corp for, I think, a collective greater than 500 kills, so I think as a collective team, we are dry on sigils, which the wiki says are a total of 1 in 512 each. I don't know if it's a nested table or if that's just how the math works out, but yeah, 1 in 512. Chance of getting a spectral is twice as high as the other ones, and the other ones have the special effect, of course, when you make them into a shield. Speaking of Onyx bolts being dropped right now, one thing I will say about the tons of necks, the bit of Corp, and the bit of Archglacior I did, I have made a ridiculous amount of money from Alex. I have like 3,000 Onyx bolts E sitting in my auto alka right now, which is like 27 mil, and there's also like 30 something mil already in there, apart from the 56 mil in my pouch. So yeah, given how low my depth costs are currently, that's basically a non-issue for me. I'm always more worried about like losing a ripper pouch or something, even though I have tons of those. They're just less replenishable than something like the money is at this point. So yeah, lots of money, if nothing else, from all the bosses I've done so far. We are about to do some Kelphic King. Yeah, gonna go duo because solo sounds like a massive pain, and probably, like, I might be able to do it, but I feel like it'd be annoying enough that I wouldn't want to, and so duo just seems better overall. I don't know if I've ever done a group boss that isn't Croesus, though, so I'm not sure how loot's gonna work, if we're gonna use like loot share or whatnot. But anyways, yeah, I'll keep the recording going, and if we get any drops, hopefully we can pick up a Drago Rapier, and if not, then I'm sure both of us could use a Dragor of any kind, really. I have no good one-handed melee weapon, so yeah, it'd be nice either way, I think. So we kept going at Kelphic King, and we were both learning it basically for the first time, having not done it in, well, since close to release, I believe. And like I said, hadn't had much group bossing experience outside of the little bit of Croesus I've done, so yeah, there were deaths on my end for sure, and just very generally still learning the boss and getting used to all the mechanics and such. So it was fun, I would say, even though the boss is a bit of a pain, as many people say. Anyways, we are nearing the end of our first hour, and then this happened. Yeah, got him. No way.
That's style.
Holy crap.
We got it.
I can't believe this. Somehow I knew this was gonna happen, and yet I still don't believe it. We gotta say Kevin now.
Oh my god. And especially in the right one as well.
I know. Okay, we gotta.
Don't have to do this shit anymore.
We gotta tell him
Get out
before
of
he
here.
kills us again. I think that'll mark the end of this episode, just for the sake of getting something uploaded. I'd like to get it uploaded in some sort of regular schedule just to stick to it. And, you know, the progression behind the bingo event and an account in general, going dry is a part of that, and I believe collectively went dry, given that various members went to the same thing, so we have a collective kill count, I think, above the drop rate at certain areas. And yeah, even on non-bingo stuff, a few of us are pretty dry, so just nice to mark the progress and keep track of that. So, a reminder for anybody that has forgotten, this is where we're at in the beginning of the episode. We had, I believe, 15 tiles with 15 points. And at the end of the episode, we had a teammate get the Heart of the Berserker drop, which completed the bottom row there, and of course the offhand Drago Rapier at the end for 2 more tiles. Not nearly as many as the last episode, but that one is kind of insane, so yeah, up to 17 tiles and 18 points total. Again, as far as I know, as of the latest update, first place is at 21 points, second and third place are at 20 points, so we're trailing just a little bit behind them. As for what everybody's been up to, I know a few people have done a decent amount of Croesus. Me and a couple other people, I believe, have done some Barrows. No Guthan's Warspear yet. Corp, obviously I did a decent amount of that. I'm up to 173 kills, nothing yet. 3 for any sigil is a 1 in 512. Also, I realized you couldn't actually see that because of how I have things showing on the screen right now. So yeah, 173 kills there, and what do we got for next? Up to 174 kills there. I think those are all on bingo as well. So we're nearing 50% the drop rate, and I have, what is this, 5 out of 18 unique items. So yeah, not that we're any closer to chaps or anything, but you know, the more you've done, the less likely you are not to have gotten it by that point. So for the sake of complaining, definitely good to keep that in mind. Anyway, so I'll flash the card one more time. I think for me, the plan remains pretty much the same. Probably do quite a bit more Corp because I can do that very low effort. Keep at the next as well because I need that for my general account progression, as well as the bingo tile. I might start doing some clue scrolls, even though most of what I have are elites. I have like, I think 88 elites and almost nothing of everything else, but yeah, the Clued broadcast one is pretty rough. My calculations are right, it's like 1 in 490 for a broadcast from an elite, so I don't even have 20% of that by myself, which is kind of insane, especially considering how slow and annoying elites can be. Yeah, so then on top of that, also some Croesus probably on my end, as well as other people's. Not sure what the plan is for Virago for the seismic tile. The tier 95 piece is also looking a little rough. I will probably look into streaking some Archglacior up to 250% in Rage, as I've done a couple times by now, just to try to work towards that as well, even though the chance is pretty low to get one Frozen Core that is streaking up to 250%. Just have to give it a go at some point because it's one of the only ways to get that tile, of course. Anyways, I appreciate anyone that has stuck around this far. Probably a bit of a long ramble here at the end, but wanted to give a general update as to the progress and what everybody else has been doing and what I'll be doing next episode. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Peace.